You know, and even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. You know, the possibility of that happening is again like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like it shows that there's
always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the prompts. There's no end to what we can roll up.
We're going to be officially rolling for superpowers. This is usually the make or break. Ayo, and hello everybody. It is finally the wondrous Whacked Out Wednesday. I am excited for today, as per usual. Guys, welcome to Roll for Hero, a segment of our channels in which we let the dice dictate what on God's green earth we're going to be drawing for today. It is me, your ever weird, ever cracked out and weirded out Uncle E, and with me today is our, you know him, you love him, our beautifully big-bearded, bald-headed, big fish in the small pond of indie comics, Mr. Fish.
What is up, man? I'm glad to be back. And yes, y'all are absolutely right in the comments. This was supposed to be the third episode. I messed it up for some reason. I think I fixed it. We will see if it actually takes. But I edited it in the thing. Hopefully it changed it.
I done goofed last episode. So I think it's only fair that you get like your tiny little
one little snafu, not the end of the world.
No. You have more experience, so you're given more grace. For me, I swear I thought I had the whole thing down, and I screwed up so hard. Oh man,
that's a little thing. I bet you Kyron's done the same thing a bunch of times on his show. I just wish I could have been backstage watching you just go hard at it, because I know you were going hard at the intro.
Oh, 100%. That was the sad
that cracks me up.
I played the intro. I was super excited about it. It was the whole nine. It was the shebang. It was a meal and a bag of chips and then some. And I was like, come on. And then I'd start the stream being like, I'm a dummy. Best way to start a stream, by the way.
Here I was being an Uncle Lee apologist in the comments saying, well, you know, I bet you TS was a minute late. TS was like, oh no, I was there.
He was right on time. But outside of that, though, speaking of TS and speaking of episode 2, yes, for those that do and have corrected the situation, this is season 2, episode 3 of Roll for Hero. And within the confines of this season, we are rolling into the realms of a fun, science-filled, sci-fi, retro, crazy insanity that is just a lot. I'm using words to try to sound smart, but in reality, I'm just compensating for the fact that I didn't get out of high school. Don't you worry about that last part. But anyways, we're actually in an entire sci-fi universe, and we're going to be building everything from the ground up. Episode 1, we have drawn up our heroes, known as Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy, 2 cosmic cadets from the Cosmic Coalition, was granted superpowers because an evil death ray was about to attack them, and then all of a sudden, you know, a cosmic storm comes right in and affects their DNA. So one can grow to the size of Jupiter with cosmic shooting energy projections. The other one's able to shrink down to the size of a meteor and zip through the confines of the black void of space. And of course, now we get to show off what we ended up doing in episode 2 of season 2, the golden episode of like 1 carry. It was that bad. So let's actually pull up what we ended up creating that day right over here.
Those came out really cool. I was listening in the car on the ride home, and I remember thinking through, it's like, man, as soon as I get home, I'm drawing out my version because I had it all figured out what I was going to do. And yeah, I forgot all about that once we finally got home and got unpacked. But
I mean, listen, once you visit the grandbabies, you know, they tucker you out, and then you just have a long drive, and you got to try to stay hyper-focused and aware on the road. It takes a lot of energy and whatnot, and we can't discredit such situations. But speaking of, here's what we ended up rolling for those that want to get more context as to what we ended up rolling up. So it turns out for episode 2, we didn't decide to roll any super powered or any other kind of cracked out character with powers or abilities, because this time I actually brought up an entire series of lists solely meant for like just creating an alien in general. So you get to create an entire alien from the different amount of limbs, what their eyes are like, to the eye shape, you know, body shape, head shape, so on and so forth. So here's what we ended up rolling. We rolled an alien with 7 tentacles that had a humanoid body shape, that had 6 eyes on flexible stalks. They happen to have scaled skins patterned with spots or stripes. Again, they had a humanoid head shape as well, with a sonic emitter, a method of conversing using a sonic emitter. And they had electromagnetic or electric organs. This is like some more fun internal stuff. So if we ever draw this character bleeding out or whatever, we get to see how that all looks out. Then, of course, they are a technocracy. So they're kind of based, their entire theology on the advancements of technology. And of course, they are shapeshifters to an extent, if they have like a unique ability to them. And of course, they happen to have like a redundant heart or an organ or something like that. So I just thought that was a really interesting situation. And I know that, not Fish, Luther and I had 2 vastly different renditions. So let's get a little bit more on Luther's side over here, because this is really interesting. He took this to a very horrific edge and like made it look all spooky and very alien. Let's be honest. This is the most alien looking thing, and I'm kind of envious on how this looks. He's probably going to rag on the fact that he didn't do so good or whatever. Honestly, I like how this turns out, and if he gives this to, say, like either Fish or myself, imagine taking this idea and just giving it that intensive edge. Like this is like some space bounty hunter looking dude with 6 eye stalks ready to hunt you down. Like this would be a really scary looking dude. But I mean, he looks like a nice guy. He's waving, actually. The little blue thing right here is actually him waving and whatnot. So that's always fun. So that's what Luther ended up drawing. And then as for myself, I mentioned a webcomic that I was reading for a while on Webtoons called The Runners. And it's like an entire science fiction filled, like it literally is the perfect science fiction story. It's a bunch of ragtag people or aliens all grouped together, and they're going on these crazy space missions. And one of the aliens kind of had a similar vibe to what I ended up drawing over here. And I feel like I just kind of made a fan-made rendition of that character. But I really like the way this kind of came out, because I think the character from the comic that I was reading had hands, but for mine, it has like more tentacle-looking hands. And I tried using the tentacles as like, okay, so that could be like 3 legs, or it could be 2 legs and a tail, and we got 4 arms. Very squid-like to the best of my abilities is how I was able to draw this overall rendition. How would you guys have drawn this if you were given the prompts that we were given last episode? Let me know if you ever decide to go back and watch that very terrifically terrible second episode of Roll for Hero that I had the...
Oh, y'all did a great job. Y'all did a great job.
I will admit, the other half of the stream was totally fantastic, but I will admit the beginning part was just, hey, you got to start somewhere, though. But outside of that...
Oh, that's a good idea. 6-eyed Assassin. That's a good name.
Yeah. We came up with like a series of other names. I believe the name that I had for this character is called, well, a friend of mine, I think someone from the comments ended up saying Miss Dobby, but she goes by a myriad of other names, because it's like, oh, Miss Dobby's one that's like the proper, the polite, or the super buddy kind of thing. And then there's actually one where it's like, you don't ever call her by that name. If you do, you're dead, kind of a thing. So, but yeah, so this is what we ended up drawing. A lot of the awesome suggestions from the comments really to kind of make this a really awesome and a really unique kind of a character. So this was a blast. But now that we kind of showed off the character, let's actually get on to our little theme for today. So as I was stating before, we have basically created an entire science fiction universe. We are now solely stuck into one universe for now. We're just building everything up. So episode 1, we created our superheroes. Episode 2, we basically created like a space alien bounty hunter of sorts in the form of what I ended up showing you here. And today, we're going to be creating the villain and the henchman. Usually we try not to be so like, organized, but given the fact that we're trying to stay consistent and creating a whole little universe out of this, we might as well try to make something out of it. So today, was it Miss Dobby is the scary assassin? Yes, it can be scary depending on who you're asking. It's like you ticked off the wrong person. But for today's video, we're going to be kind of structuring just a little bit. So we're going to roll up a superpower, supervillain. We're going to roll up everything, and we're going to create a supervillain and the henchman for said villain. So that way we know who ended up giving Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy their powers. So Mr. Fish, I personally believe it is time for us to... Perfect.
There we go. got the dice tower up. We have got the cards up for the origins. I guess I'm going to leave this one big for now so everybody else can see it to follow along. At least everybody who's not driving or whatever in the comments. So our origin, we already know the setting that we're in. We're in the sci-fi world, so we don't have to do that one again.
But obviously, if you're following along and you want to roll for yourself, make sure to take a good gander what we got over here on this list, so that way you can roll one up for yourself. All you need are just 2 classic, dice from any board game or any, set that you kind of got at the house. I mean, if you got Monopoly dice, just grab those and use it to the best of your abilities. Roll up some fun ideas, and let's get to it. So this is number 1. This is Origins. So if anyone rolled it, knock yourself out.
Let's see what we can do here. We got an 8. Which is
years of
training. Okay, so
a villain with years of training.
Studied and spent their life training to be who they are. I like that one.
Okay. So we got a villain with years of training. That's already as scary as it is. So imagine this dude has to go up against 2 rookie kind of heroes that are just rummaging their way.
Power types do we get here? 7. Ooh, 2 major and 2 minor. Man. 2 major.
Okay, that sounds pretty solid.
Oh, this dude's gonna be overpowered for sure. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Whoops, I rolled off the thing, but we got a 9. So we got telekinesis.
Okay, hold on. Did I spell that correctly? Absolutely not, as of right now. All right.
Let's see. Brain fart. 11, which is a healing factor. Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay. Also, there's a fun little comment. Someone commented, I wonder if Mr. Fish's grandkids do roll for hero.
Not yet, but they will when they get a little bit older. My oldest is 5, so he's still a little young to... And he ain't got the attention span God gave a gnat. So he needs to focus a little bit more. The 4-year-old has a better attention span than the 5-year-old does.
So just to make sure that I got everything right here. So we have years of training, 2 major, 2 minor. We have telekinesis and healing factor, correct?
Yep. And now we just rolled a number 8 for size change.
Again with the size changing.
Well, but that plays really well into the guy that created Meteor Mandy and Jupiter Jack. So
this is true.
That plays really. I don't think that could have been better for this character.
Also, I did send you the updated one, so it doesn't say side change anymore. It says size change.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that yet, so
I'll be sure to. I'll go back and I'll update all of these images again.
And we need to make up some new powers too. We need to sit down and do that.
Yeah, we do. Honestly, hey, this would probably be now for the time for y'all to start, because I know we've been shooting, telling y'all to shoot some powers at us. Please shoot abilities at us. Like, give us some very unique concepts for what we can put onto these lists, because we kind of been using the same lists in season 1 or partially within season 1. But anyways, what did you roll for this one? So we have size changing and
senses, number 5.
Ooh.
And now, optional power modifier. Oh, I really just want to pick one, but then that takes away the roll for hero aspect.
Now, hold on. How about this?
Oh, no. I've already rolled now. TS said it right. Like, it's roll for hero. It's not pick for hero.
Nah, so. That's true. Well, then again, for all we know, we're probably going to draw something so cracked out and crazy. We're going to be surprised by our own metrics. Again, the show has done nothing but surprise me at every twist and turn. So what is it? Okay, what is our modifier?
Weakness to a particular item.
Okay.
is the same weakness that Meteor Mandy and Jupiter Jack had. So again, that could play really interesting together because
And
I
maybe we
absolutely
can.
forgot about that aspect when I was creating Meteor Mandy and didn't really incorporate that part.
All right, now we
Motivation.
have motivation. Now we're going to take this motivation and we're just going to amp it up to evil. These are same
Yeah,
motivations that can
because
be used for.
even like selfless for the greater good, like in a lot of ways, Doctor Doom would fit in that one. He
Oh, 100%.
believes the greater good of the world is him taking over the world and controlling it, and everybody will be better off. So, it can absolutely play for villains just as easily. Dude, come on. Why you gotta keep staying in there?
Would you want me to roll one from here?
No, I got it. It just stayed in the doorway there. 7. An adventure seeker. Okay.
An adventure seeker. Wait a minute. Wasn't that okay? I feel like we're weirdly rolling up a similar concept here.
We're getting very, very, very close, which is kind of beautiful when you think about it in a weird way that it is coming up so close to Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy's role because that, makes sense in so many ways that they would be similar. Yeah, they got Adventure Seeker too. They got a lot of the same things.
Well, let me see, because I happen to have the same list over here. So the villain gave us
Yeah.
two that size projection. Try. So the difference being is that in this situation, Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy were only given 2 powers.
Mm-hmm.
So
And he's got more.
he's got more. So that makes this very, very interesting because he has a healing factor and he's a telekinetic. So that
I
already
love that, Dragon Gaming. That's beautiful. Like just being the master of the powers that they're learning and be like, sloppy, you're wasting your potential. It's too predictable. That was too easy to dodge, I saw that
okay.
coming a mile away. I would have done that too as a child as he brushes away their
It's like,
attacks.
oh,
I love that.
Like, oh, you shrunk down to the size of a meteor. Like I haven't done that before. I think you Earthlings
See,
love
and
what is it?
I'm with Sniper
Baseball?
Panda. I'm almost thinking like Sinestro and Hal Jordan. Like I'm thinking like, maybe
Ooh.
this dude was part of the Corps and broke off. Maybe he, was a
He was
teacher
part
at
of
one
the
point
Cosmic
that they
Coalition.
respected and went rogue is what I'm thinking. Something along that line. So
Seeks the final
let me
challenge, like battle. Oh, that's a good one. Our shepherd. The villain is an adventure seeker seeking the final battle, like the thrill of a kill. Ooh.
trying to oh my god. That's why he hits him with the size changing ray. Like he wants somebody that can compete with him that can actually put up a fight and that's beautiful.
Oh. Okay, sorry, I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, guys, you have no idea how hyped up I am right now because of like there are some thoughts and opinions roaming around this dome right over here. All right. Oh, would you look at that? Perfect.
Oh yeah, that worked out great.
Oh, fantabulous. We love it here. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So years of training. So we weren't necessarily given the fact that if this was an alien or a human. We could go the Sinestro route and make him a human-looking alien. Probably give
I'm thinking he definitely needs to be alien for sure. And
now
I'm thinking probably fairly alien because, heightened senses and whatnot.
Now I could do something interesting. Hey, what's all that about?
I don't know. Where are you going? Where are you going? Whoa, hey.
Whoa. Now we could, for the good old kicks and giggles of it all, we could use my alien lists here.
Let's see what you get.
Like I have the all this. Let me do the pages just real quick. Perfect. So here's what I got going on over here. So this is the list. This is the list that we ended up using in episode 2, last episode, of like getting to come up with potential physical features of said alien. If you want to go the more alienistic route.
I definitely want to go more alien. As y'all were rolling things up last time, I was like, oh, that's a lot of options to put into one character.
It is, but it is the challenge. Now,
yeah.
Let me see. Let's start off with the body shape for this one. We're gonna do a little bit more rolling here, but let's do roll for the body. Let me. How about this? I'll take one, and then let's do like 5 attributes, or let's do 6.
Right.
I'll do 3. You do 3. And we'll go from there. Right. So I'm gonna do roll number 1. All right. The body is going to be insectoid.
Okay, that's what I would have not wanted. Insectoid.
Okay,
right.
Okay.
That makes it nice and difficult. Thanks a lot.
I think TS
Though I did like the idea of insect eyes, because the first thing I thought when we got enhanced senses was like 360 view with insect like compound eyes. So that plays, that works. I'm still on board.
Let's see how many eyes this character should have. Would you want to roll for this one, Mr. Fish?
Dice, don't screw me on this one, because I got a cool.
Or how about if I rolled this one for now in the options?
I'll roll it, but I'm wanting the dice to be kind. That's all I'm saying. Man, why are you scared, Dice? These are your friends. Come out and play. Okay, we got snake eyes. We got 2.
Ooh.
Oh man. No eyes at all?
And
dang it, Dice. I asked you to play nice.
Let's see what I get. I got 9. 8 plus. So it's like small eyes. And then roll 1d6.
Okay, I'm going no eyes. I'm saying 0 eyes.
I would have done 10 eyes if that was the case.
All right. Oh, man.
I'm gonna suffer along with you. We're gonna do this together.
I'm loving that, Dragon Gaming. That is beautiful. Like, come on, make me feel something, anything. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. And blind can be just as interesting, because I mean, I've spent a good part of my adult life not being able to see, and it comes with its own interesting stuff. So I'm not knocking it. Okay, well, eye shape doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Well,
external
by eye shape, they also have like a few other ones. They have geometric or I don't even know how to say that one correctly. There's solid colored eyes with no pupil. There's horizontal slits, but then again, we have no eye, so you're right on that one. So we have skin/external texture, so how they're gonna like physically and actually look. All right, we have 7 scaled skin, baseline alien texture, so like a scaly skin.
The scaled insect.
Not bad. And a real challenge. Okay. This is going to be interesting. All right. So then let's see. What do we got? We got skin color, but I feel like that one should be more onto us rather than.
Yeah. I want to pick that.
Yeah. We have head shape. So then that way we can see where the no eyes are going to be on. All right, this is going to be my final roll. So the last 2 are going to be on you. I literally went from 6 to the number 7 to the number 8. We have crested or fin.
All right, I can work with that.
Ooh, okay.
I need bigger cards to write all this on.
Well, then again, we are doing. Trust me, I'm skimming through all the rest of all these little details. I'm gonna refine this alien thing here at some point, because I was just kind of looking through whatever. Ooh, like a mantis. We got like a centipede, or maybe the villain sees with echolocation.
Mm-hmm. All
Not
right.
bad.
So
All right.
okay, we got head shape. What
All
are we
right. And then
doing
we
now?
have mouth.
All right. You know what? I don't trust you guys anymore. I'm getting new dice. All right, we got 6. What is 6?
A human-like mouth.
Okay. All right. Doesn't seem to fit, but we can do that. Human mouth.
Could have some huge scales on the face to make others think he has eyes, but his mouth conveys all the expression.
All right, and then what are we going to do after that? Are we doing
We have special biological traits, and then we also have cultural traits, the ability theme, and then we have like an alien quirk.
didn't you have limbs in there?
I did. Where's that one? Number of limbs, yes.
All right, let's do that one for the last
right.
one. 'Cause, I mean, we are doing an insectoid creature.
It's more like
So,
how many of them limbs, because I mean, you got a spider which has 8, you got bugs and beetles with 6. So let's give it a shot. You're the one to do the final roll here.
oh, come on, man. Just run inside the doorway. What is 5? 4 limbs,
4
standard.
limbs, standard
Oh.
humanoid or
All right,
quadruped.
well, I'll take it. I'll take it with everything, with the rest of the potato/fruit salad we got to deal with. I will take 4 limbs and a humanoid mouth. I will take that.
Okay, and I also feel like since now we know that it has like a humanoid-ish figure to an extent, well, kind of. So it's an insectoid-like being with no eyes, has scaled skin, has either a crested or a finned, headpiece, or like their head shape has that, and then they have like a human-like mouth. They have 4 limbs. So this is going to be very, very interesting. What did y'all roll up? Roll an 11. What was it? Dang, there was a. Well, I'll get to that. Also, the enhanced senses and no eyes sound suspiciously like wild might. You're not wrong. It does sound like wild might 10.
And also like the alien, from Aliens, which is basically wild mutt.
That's true, because don't the xenomorphs happen to have like eyes within their like weird dome-like skull? Like if you had an X-ray of it, or like if you see through it, you can see like a human-like skull. Or is that when they pop out of specifically humans?
Some of them, like the more they mutate towards humans, they start to have humanoid-like skulls, but on the front of it. But like that is their skull on the outside. Like that's the shell is their exoskeleton. So I mean, but yeah, wild mutt's basically just a friendlier version of the xenomorphs. I just couldn't think of the word xenomorph in the moment.
That's how it be. Okay. Okay, so it's a bug. It's an insectoid-like creature. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, I got. Let's see. Crested or finned? And this is the part where we try to do our whole thing. Imagine doing an episode on season 2 with Mr. and Miss Fish roll up alien monsters. Oh, that'll be an episode.
Well, and I think that would be a fun thing to do too, like kaiju-like monsters and things that they may have to encounter in this world, and there's so many cool things that we can do in here. I love a good sci-fi world.
We love a good sci-fi world. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. So one of the first thoughts I had on this was like having this as because it's like a bug dude with no eyes. Ah, that's the with scaled skin.
That's the thing. He's a reptilian, insectoid, humanoid identity crisis walking around. Flip the script. Oh, I can see
Okay.
that.
Okay. I'm thinking. Ah, yes. Okay, wait. I got a cool idea for this. So maybe like the skin, or like his scaly skin, can also play an effect. Like I'm trying to combine the idea of a scale plus, like antennas to play into the bug-like nature of this
Well, don't
concept.
forget he's also got to have like a crest, so
Or a fin.
or a fin, like something like that. So I mean, that could be a ridge of horns, or something.
Okay, I think the crested thing might work in this situation.
Oh, I love a good rhino beetle.
That's what I was actually thinking about at first. I wanted to go off of a rhino beetle aesthetic, but then I'm like, he doesn't have any eyes. Okay, wait, how am I going to get this work? Okay, the way that I'm thinking about it is kind of like he has like a crown, so he can be claimed as like a king or something like that, as the king of battle or something of that nature.
Oh, son.
Father?
Oh, son, I'm fixing to. Oh, son.
For I am the king of battle. Those who enter into my domain must fight me if they want to comply.
I feel like that's what his voice would be.
Yes. Jupiter Jack, Meteor Mandy, the cosmic cadets from the Cosmic Coalition. Last I checked, they were nothing more than fools.
Tell me that does not go hard as a villain concept.
Oh, yeah.
So you finally arrived. Cosmic Cadets. I remember when I was one of those. The training days were very vigorous, I shall admit.
As much as I love drawing heroes, I love voicing villains, especially if I get to do like a maniacal laughter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what makes villains like so fun. Is like the getting to do their villainous laughters and such.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why so many people like playing them. Like, you can have the freedom to just be what you want to be and do what you want to do, and not have to worry about all the consequences and stuff of people don't want to be your friend anymore or whatever. You can just be the bad guy, and it's definitely freeing and fun in a lot of ways to just be able to
Go ballistic.
act that way in your voicing and whatnot. Okay, well, I don't care what I do with the rest of them. I have the face nailed.
I definitely feel like I'm going for a Power Rangers villain. Honestly, that would be like a funny setup. I think for some reason Power Rangers is always going to be like my default state of like storytelling for some characters, because it's like, oh, like you have the evil commander, you have the evil head honcho, but then he has all his henchmen and villains. And I feel like if this was like a more serialized thing, I feel like he would always find Jupiter Jack and Meteor Man. He would always find someone to be like,
I want them destroyed. You, Space Bounty Hunter, I will pay you handsomely if you can take down the Cosmic Duo.
and then it's like and then that could be like another fun villain concept. It's like, oh yes, of course they are, sire.
Good. Once they're out of the way, the rest of the cosmos is mine for the taking.
Well, enhanced senses make sense for that, sure. Okay, I'm finally getting to roll my stuff, and I see what I get. That's why everyone loves to play the Joker. Yeah.
Oh, Harley. Oh, baby, I tell you, Batsy's gonna be all over the place when he sees what I done with this Robin.
Maybe these villains had a condition that caused them to be born with no eyes, or they lost their eyes during their adventure seeking. Ooh! That's a dangerous one. That's a dangerous one. In a sense, the villain confronts them and says, in a way, I am your father. You know what? In this case, yeah, this villain would be like the reason why he's the father of their powers. He's like,
had it not been for me there, Cosmic Cadet, he's like, if it wasn't for me, you would not even be here. I decided to pass on my powers to those that I thought would seek the ultimate thrill.
okay, we got. Okay, I think I'm kind of getting something here. Got 4, got a crested scaled skin. No eyes. Hello. What happened?
I don't know. It disappeared for a second.
No, I know.
And I mean, the screen didn't go off for me, but I don't know if the internet might have glitched a bit for a second or what. King Demon created a character like the Joker plus the Crow. That's cool.
Ooh, that sounds like a very violent duo.
One of my favorite characters I ever created myself. And like, I went with 100%, like, what would I do if I was in the situation? What do I find scary? What kind of, and I came up with the Scarecrow. And it's not DC's Scarecrow, but I was really proud of the character, and I guess I knew there was a DC Scarecrow, but I didn't really know much about him at the time, because at the time he was just like an occasional, like, way in the side character on like Super Friends, and he didn't have a big run in the comics right around then much, and then he started getting more runs, and then he morphed into what he became in like the animated series and stuff, and I was like, dang, man, I really loved this idea, but I've never felt like I could really use him, because it just felt like it would be like everybody would accuse me of being a ripoff when he was an original idea. I mean, scarecrows aren't a new thing, but I never got to use him. But he leads a gang of the Black Crows. And so I always thought that was clever.
So wait, you can say that this was a Scarecrow who has a bunch of crow knees?
Yeah. You could. I wouldn't, but you could.
Yes. Megatron terrorize.
It's one of my favorite vocal stems of all time. So when I first discovered Beast Wars Transformers, when it was on Netflix, I don't know if it's still on there or not. But when it was there, man, that was like That Megatron was impressive. He turned into a dinosaur. Optimus turned into an ape in that rendition.
The graphics were so cheesy, but so cutting edge for what they could do on TV at the time.
I will say though, story-wise, I think to an extent, I feel like it really holds up.
I wouldn't be surprised. I really enjoyed it, and I was pretty grown when it was coming out. I mean, I was in college, I think, when it started, and I really, really enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Street Fighter movie?
I didn't even know there was a Street Fighter movie in progress.
Yeah. It looks goofy. Like they're trying really hard to be video game accurate, which they will either slay or they will look
Slay
like
in the worst way.
I mean, right now it kind of looks like it's going to be a laughing stock to me, but I don't think those video games lend themselves well to video game adaptations like Mortal Kombat and stuff. Like, there's not really enough story to those to lend themselves really to an adaptation. It's just to beat them up. There's only so much you can do with that. Now, like, The Last of Us, or heck, even Tomb Raider has enough story to it to stretch out into a movie, but trying to stretch out Street Fighter into a full movie is like trying to stretch The Grinch That Stole Christmas out into a full movie. I mean, at least that was a beloved childhood classic already, but you got to make up most of that movie to have it be a full-length movie, because the book's only like so many pages long. And
it's like when they take Where the Wild Things Are, like when they made that movie, like it's a beloved, like the book Where the Wild Things Are, like it's a book that has not even that much dialogue. It's more like you can fit the entire script of that book I could fit the entire script of that book in like one page of this sketchbook. That's how short of a story it is, but they managed to make an entire film out of that.
Yeah, and The Grinch is honestly the same way. Like, there's not much to it. It's pretty short story-wise.
But it was iconic, and Jim Carrey literally held on to that role.
Mm-hmm. But, they wrote something cool around it. And you can, but they had a lot more to work with in that than you do with Street Fighter. You had a lot more tropes that people are going to line up to see about, Christmas and this, that, and the other. There's only so much you can do about beating up foreigners around the world, which is essentially Street Fighter. It's beat up people from other countries in other countries. And it ain't that deep. I loved it. I played the fool out of it. But it's not a terribly deep, thought-provoking game like some of our modern games have much better story and are much easier to translate. Even like Five Nights at Freddy's, it's easier to translate into a movie than like Pac-Man is.
Now, see, if you want to adapt Pac-Man, go to Disney, because they made a whole TV show out of that. And speaking of video game to movie adaptation, the fiance and I are gonna go see that movie Iron Lung when it comes out. It's like a video game done by Markiplier, one of the more popular YouTubers. Let me see. Maybe you could try making your own Scarecrow character and tweaking it enough to make it different. Like maybe try making it Try making it in this series. Like take the Scarecrow, make him sci-fi. Not bad.
Oh yeah, my Scarecrow was a completely different character. He was a gang leader. Like, he was kind of like a cross between the Kingpin and Joker, I guess, like Heath Ledger's Joker. Like, he more just wanted to watch the world burn. He more wanted to sow chaos into the world, and he would steal stuff from people just to burn it, and just to cause chaos. He wanted to overthrow things and be the scariest person in the world. He didn't care about being the richest. But in that, he's amassed like an army of disenchanted youth that want to follow along and burn it down alongside him. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know what happened if I actually gave. I don't know about the. Almost got a Darth Maul vibe with my guy over here with his very, very horned up head.
You got a horny head, you said.
Hello. I don't think I was ever going to make that sound not bad.
Yeah, a bit. I went heavy with the frills because I have a character already, a space character already, that was my big bad in my role playing game. That is bald and has this heavy like mutton chop mustache deal going on, and once I thought of him when I was thinking of the frills, it was all over. I was doing the frills that way. So everything else it now is basically based around those frills because that got in my head. And I thought it would look cool to have the frills as big mustache. But also I've got him dressed because my thinking with this guy is like, if he was a part of the space cadets or whatever they're called, whatever they were, the Meteor Mandy and Jupiter Jack.
I would call them cosmic cadets for the, well, I feel like calling it the galactic cadets for the cosmic coalition. I feel like that would be a fun way to say it.
But they, being part of that, I don't think like he would be a like walk around naked guy,
Yeah.
Like I think he would be like a wear a uniform. And if he was a leader and a teacher and stuff there, I'm seeing him more as like in a like military sergeant's type garb. So I'm trying to mix in the look of like a heavy military type coat and some bits of armor, and try and keep an imposing looking shape to him. Though I have to wonder if the shape couldn't be a little more imposing. He's a little bit boxy. I'm kind of wondering if I couldn't push those shoulders further. Let me duplicate this so I don't lose that one. I don't want to go changing things and then find out I liked it better the way it was. And then let's.
Okay. I think I'm getting something here. Trying to see if I can try to incorporate. Him being like a former thing. I like the idea of that too, like him being a former cosmic cadet or a cosmic guardian, if you will.
Mhm.
And then him working for the Cosmic Coalition, or he used to work for the Cosmic Coalition. Now he does his own thing. This could bring, like, weirdly enough, evil Emperor Zurg vibes.
Yeah.
The evil Emperor Zurg, sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance.
I'm also thinking about how he would actually dress. And I feel like he would also be a bit showboaty about him being a very intensive warrior. Maybe he was hit with the same level of cosmic entity, or like whatever cosmic entity hit him. Because this is obviously, well, it's years of training. So for him, he had to train to obtain these powers. So he had to be somewhere in particular to apprehend these abilities for telekinesis and his healing factor. So some of these things I think
some of this stuff could be
biological.
Some of this stuff could be relatively inherent to his species. You know, like telekinesis could be a natural thing to his species, but he's trained his to an expert level. Or, you know, like his healing factor could be a normal thing that he has. Size changing could be a normal thing that his species has, maybe, and he's trained it. Or it could be like, you know, a green llama thing where he's, you know, put in years of training to learn mystical skills from other species that, you know, others of his species don't inherently have, you know.
So then obviously he has this. So, but then what got him started? So he's an adventure seeker for sure. And he's ultimately, at least from how I'm interpreting it, he is seeking the ultimate thrill of a kill, right? He is this brutal warrior, you know, and desires conquest and, you know, destruction to an extent. So what led him onto this path? You know, the fact that like maybe the Cosmic Coalition didn't allow him his, you know, preferred methods of teaching, or maybe it could be the fact that, you know, he doesn't believe in the cause of the Cosmic Coalition because maybe their way is going one way, but then his way is being the more effective route or something like that. And therefore he something like that.
Like I'm thinking for mine at least, like he went into this wanting to be strong enough to be able to protect his world, wanting to, you know, learn to be the strongest to fight, you know, to be able to defend his world and keep anybody from getting hurt. And, you know, he went into it with the best of intentions, but he went into it, you know, with the thought of, I'm going to become the best fighter. And as he trained and beat the next guy ahead of him and trained and beat the next guy ahead of him, he realized there's no more challenge in this. And they're not strong enough. The Cosmic Coalition isn't strong enough to defend from what evil may come. And there's always going to be somebody bigger or scarier out there. So he's constantly in this training cycle trying to find the next challenge that's going to push him high enough and strong enough that he'll be the biggest and the baddest. And now he's even inventing problems for himself to fight against, to, you know, challenge himself. Like, kind of like almost like a cross between a mad general and like a wrestler who's like, you know, always looking for that biggest challenge, always looking, you know, wants to be the big man in the ring, but nobody's really giving him something that, you know, nobody's really giving him a big enough challenge.
Okay, and then this leads on to another idea. So again, like the idea was that he would be the villain that somehow manages to give powers to Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy. So then how would he have, you know, transferred his abilities on over to them? Do you think it could have been from some special alien technique that would actually, you know, somehow managed to transfer energy on over, but it turns out due to a potential cosmic event happening, that telekinetic energy may have affected Jack and Mandy, turning them into what they are. See, these are
Could.
really
I mean, like I was thinking originally with Mandy, I was thinking like she already had some energy expulsion powers, which is what like got her boosted up a rank in, you know, the Cosmic Cadets anyway, and got her out here, and her trying to like fight off the energy ray that was hitting her is what combined to help her survive and give her the shrinking powers instead of like shrinking her into oblivion, was my original thought. Now that we've created this guy, I'm wondering if like he wasn't trying to transfer or even perhaps like curse one of these guys with a version of his powers just so he has somebody worth fighting against, and maybe one of them jumped in the way to block it or something, so like they got half the powers, like, you know, like Jack can grow and Mandy can shrink, whereas he could do both. And so he didn't really get what he wanted, but is my thought right now. But that could change because it's all fun and games until it finally gets put down on the page. So, you know, we can keep bumping and twisting and moving and rearranging, redrawing.
This is true. This is true. And I finally got to a head shape I think I really like. It's like this weird pine cone looking head, but it shows off the scales, but also the horned element of his face. Getting to kind of show off like that brutal looking element. Like it shows that he's a really brutal looking kind of guy.
You know what?
See maybe if I could shrink that, maybe grow that out a little bit. Okay. And then I can also see this being like more or less his nostrils over here, and then like his supposed eyes would be over here. But since he doesn't have any, this could kind of play into the actual threat of it all. There we go. That's how it is. Imagine either of these guys hired Miss Dobby. Oh, so okay. Because then what we displayed in episode 2, that like the character that we drew was like a bounty hunter that they would have to regrettably go to sometimes. But, you know, the character happened to just be some variation of a, you know, like, do we really have to? And it's like, listen, if we're going to get any intel on this guy in particular, we have to. But also this person could equally work for this said villain. Never thought of it that way. Like Lobo have him be the last of his kind and he killed all his own people. Jeez. I definitely feel like that would be something my design of this character would do. Maybe like he sought out, you know, the thrill of it all at some point and is like, I am going to seek a challenge, fighting off his planet's warriors, only then to receive nothing in return in terms of like, you are weak. I thought I would have gotten a challenge out of you. So then he keeps going onward and onward.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Okay. Get to draw him a battle skirt because I think that's always cool. Going like gladiator style with this. Probably the reason why he even has that thrill-seeking side. That probably plays into it at least a little bit in my situation here, or like in my rendition of this design. Like maybe the reason why the character is an adventure seeker, or like why he's dressed the way that he does dress, right? He dressed like a gladiator because he barely got anything on, and that's because he's perfected his overall, you know, like his rendition of size growth, his telekinetic ability. So he, it's the closest thing he gets to fight with, nothing on, if you will. But just to be ceremonial, he's like, I will fight you, but out of pity.
See, that's what I like about thinking through the powers and, how would it work? Will his clothes change size with him? What about him is changing size? Like, is he actually growing on more mass? Is he somehow enlarging the size of his particles? Like, is it a field around him that enlarges everything that he's wearing? Or is it, or is he actually growing so that everything else around him would shrink and break off? Or does he have to have specially made stretchy pants so he doesn't grow out of his britches when he grows? Like, I love thinking that stuff through for powers like that, and it usually leads me to some really interesting ideas for costumes or limitations for the character or quirks.
Oh, wait, I think I got something over here. Maybe he went to go see a shaman, or at least how my design goes for it. I'm going for like ancient warrior type. Like he has this overall vibe of him being like
I seek, the strongest of warriors.
and he wears like a ceremonial, like ancient kind of garb or something like that. Or maybe that's how it kind of looks here. Again, once we get to the coloring stage, then I'll probably see how that works out. And I'm also going to see if I can play with scale texture because I'm not really good at doing that sometimes. There we go. There we go. We got something going on over here. In a way, it kind of designed a little bit like a turtle shell, which actually could be an
What if he
interesting.
created the heroes and the forces final challenge and forces body into its finalized evolutionary form like Pokemon? He's been training his whole life, pushing his own powers and form to their perfection.
That, I believe, would be the way to go in his situation.
And I think like that's totally like why he would be wanting to give them extra powers to make them more challenging, to force himself to that next level of evolution in himself. How am I going to get bigger and badder and better? I have to have a bigger threat to challenge me because I have surpassed everything that I've come up against so far.
And if I'm to be the strongest, then who is going to face me, kind of, or something like that. There we go. That's something.
Oops.
Okay. And then we're going to draw his reptilian-like legs. Again, those like chicken-looking legs a little bit. May not look like it now because I was trying to draw my character standing forward.
Dragon Gaming has a backstory idea. He was a cosmic cadet on his home world with cosmic rays threatening it. And when he called for the coalition for backup, it never came. And he gained superpowers and survived the onslaught of cosmic rays. That would give somebody a grudge.
And that's why he would have a grudge against the Cosmic Coalition, because of the fact that his overall, like his people almost suffered, or his people did suffer, the fact that nobody wanted to help out, or maybe they didn't get there on time, but he still blamed the coalition for it.
Even if they were fighting another like big monster or something somewhere else, that just proves that they're not strong enough to handle whatever threat may come. You know, if they were really powerful, if they were real warriors, they could have taken out that, space Godzilla in 2 seconds. But they were weak and they were unwilling to make the choices that needed to be made, and they were unwilling to kill and whatnot.
Or maybe it could have just been the fact that his planet was due to was a highly political type of a planet, and maybe it was hard for the coalition to partake in trying to save them. But it's like it's like if they save them, they're going to have problems politically speaking. Like again, intergalactic space politics, like we can't mess with these said aliens, or else XYZ ZYX is going to happen because they happen to have this type of material for the trading company, and if we interfere as part of their political reasons, they're going to cut off funding for XYZ or whatever. So it could be that kind of a situation. And the pride of his people, he doesn't really believe that his people did no wrong, and yet they still suffer the consequences. These are some awesome suggestions. He's pushing himself to become a god, and through the course of them being rookies, he's going to send them challenges and henchmen, hoping that they beat them. That way, they eventually get to him. Okay.
See, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Like he's been challenging them all this time, putting them up against more and more dangerous things to see if they were even worth his time to try and, empower them to be his next training partner, his next exercise in evolution.
I wanted to see if you had what it takes. Well, Mr. Fish's character could create sort of stronger versions of the Cosmic Coalition. Well, let me read that just in case. Well, Mr. Fish's character could have created a sort of stronger version of the Cosmic Coalition, but it was called the Dark Matter Coalition. And E's character joins the villainous coalition. Okay. Like your character might be the head honcho of this new dark matter coalition, and then my character happens to be one of said henchmen for that. So then that way it's like, because my character looks like he's really going for a thrill of a kill type situation. Yours looks like he could go for godhood. If done correctly, of course. I bet you any money if I sent this to one of my friends, she would be like, hot, smash. You got to have at least one of them. If they pass that test,
I am never ceased. It never ceases to amaze me how many people like walk up, especially like young girls that like have been, especially when I'm at a con and I am across the aisle from one of the like stars, like one of the background guys from Harry Potter or something. And so girls have been sitting over there for an hour waiting in line to get this dude's signature, and they've had nothing to do but come over and stare at my booth the whole time with a giant 6-foot banner of Virgil standing there, the big 8-foot tall lizard monster dude from Green Zone. And then they come over invariably afterward. They're like, okay, this guy's my new boyfriend. I need to know everything about him. And I'm like, okay, great. Yeah. This is Virgil.
That's when I'm going to sell your comic.
Yeah. I will be glad to sell you a book. He is a giant, terrifying, sweetheart, that nobody appreciates. Like he's absolutely the like looks like a bad boy but is a good dude at heart. The trope that you want the bad boy that you're chasing after to be, but he's not. He's just a jerk. But
Yeah.
Virgil actually is a really sweet dude who just looks terrifying. And yeah, you can date him if you want. I mean, he's
I
8
think he
feet
would
tall,
definitely-
600 pounds, but yeah, you can date him.
Actually, that does kind of make it funnier. All right. That does make it very interesting because my fiance has been playing Dispatch.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I
How
mean, she's
is it?
just started playing it, but if there's one character she's going to want to keep, because at some point in the game, you can kind of like cut one of the characters out of the team. And one of those characters is played by another YouTuber by the name of Moist Critical, and that's Sonar. Sonar's like this literal bat man. Like he has a head of a bat and the body of a dude, but he does turn into this monstrous bat form. And then, she was like, yeah, I think I want to keep Sonar. It's like, oh, it's because, your voice from Moist Critical is like that and also the bat form. And I'm like, you freak. You freaky deaky woman. I like it. All right. Not me calling my fiance a freak on live stream. We
So
love
you're
her.
saying you like him furry.
Or beefy.
There we go. Win-win, man. Win-win.
Win-win. All right. I think this would be okay. You know what? I need to see like a full image of like how your guy looks right now because I need to. Ooh, okay. I can see him going through like a phase of him going to like your character. I can definitely see what Benjamin over here is saying. Kind of like how your character goes to godhood, but then mine is like with the henchman that follows under. Like I think that would be cool. Your guy's like head honcho number one. He's the villain, and then mine is second in command.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeking for I'm Battle Beast. You're the one ascending to godhood. It's like
I will serve under my lord. No, lord.
Insert
And
name
like
here.
powering up his henchmen and stuff to be stronger and stronger to send them after these guys to challenge them and hone them to a razor's edge to try and make them as dangerous as they can possibly be.
Exactly.
Let's see. Adam Garland says, "Hello, Uncle Fish. We would love to talk to you to talk about having you make some of our characters for our superhero TTRPG." That sounds like a fun gig. I personally have been running a superhero homebrew for like 30 years. My kids learned to read and write. They learned to count on the dice. They learned to read and write on their character sheets. My oldest, my only biological son, he swore up and down he was only going to school long enough to learn to read his character sheet and comic books, and then he was coming home and he wasn't going to school anymore. I was like, okay, well, once you learn to read that much, we'll reconvene and we'll see how you stand. And he kept going until he graduated, but he was convinced going in. He's like, I don't like this whole being away from home. I don't like this whole lunchroom nonsense. I want to come back, but as soon as I learn to read my character sheet and my comic books, I'm coming back. We'll see. We'll check back in. And
Best motivation.
He stuck it out like a man.
He's basically grooming them for painful death.
Oh man, nope, that wasn't the right one.
That's one way to look at it.
That's not exactly what I wanted, but it'll work.
All right, we're making good time in here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Boom. Uncle's character can be called Khazar.
Khazar. Do you know who I am? I'm Khazar of the Kargangians.
That's
You come to
czar,
me.
like Russian czar, like a king, but Russian.
You come to me thinking that you can destroy me? I am the strongest warrior amongst my people. There is no way that I'm ever going to let the putrid man of flesh and bones like you surpass me. You may have the power of cosmic rays. I have the power of rage.
And that there is Khazar.
God, how far could you take power to shrink? Like, how many terrible, terrible ways could you kill somebody with the ability to shrink and grow? Like, I know one time we, in my D&D campaign years and years and years and years ago, like in junior high or something, one of the players was like half Titan, so he naturally had the ability to shrink and grow. And we were fighting basically Dracula, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna shrink down, to like, the size of, I'm gonna shrink down to like an inch tall. And so he jumped up in the other dude's hand. I think it was a thief or something. And like, all right, what do you do? It's like, I'm gonna punch him in the mouth and just shove dude down his throat. And he rolled, got a good hit. It's like, okay, you shoved him down his throat, and as soon as you hit the stomach acid, he's like, oh no, 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 no. Halfway down, I'm growing back to Titan size. And he was like, dude, come on, don't. I was like, no, I'm growing back to Titan size. And just he was so convinced he was going to wipe out half the party with that vampire. And yeah, no, he didn't last but like 4 moves, I think.
That's crazy. Sometimes the imagination of players in a circumstance like that always tends to be the craziest thing ever.
Oh, it makes me so mad as a game master. I'm like, oh, y'all come up with all this. That's why I quit thinking of ways to like win. I quit thinking of like, how do you beat the big bad guy? Nah, I quit coming up with any of that. I just play them balls to the wall as hard as I can, trying to kill the players, and I am counting on them to come up with something absolutely ridiculous and off the wall that I never would have thought of in a million years that, will work or will have like, a 10% chance of working, and they'll roll a natural 20 or something. But like I've quit trying to come up with ways for them to beat the bad guys, and I just start going after them now. And they just come up with such off the wall nonsense.
They do. And honestly, I feel like depending on how the party plays over time, that'll like change to an extent. I think it's just because for my friends and I, we kept playing, the classic 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. So, for us, we kind of, at first we knew nothing. So we were just going balls to the walls, just having fun. Again, Candy Pirate Adventure. My first time DMing, I have no idea what I was doing. But, as the years go by, we ended up still coming up with crazier themes and whatnot. And I don't know if it gets crazier or if it gets more, tactical. Because I think depending on how often you play one system, that's where it's like you're going to get more into the specifics of it. But like from how it sounds like, since you've been running a homebrews are always where it's going to bring out the most cracked out creativity. I even tried creating a homebrew system myself. I even have the character sheet models and everything, in the off chance I'll ever, use that. But our friends have been more or less attuned to D&D. And I mean, now some of my friends have some free time, so I mean, I gotta find a way to develop playing.
Well, and it totally depends on like your player type and stuff too, because like if you have like a rules lawyer in your group, or people that just want to like power stack and get the most ridiculously overpowered characters they can by mixing the right classes and whatnot, then my game isn't for you. You're not going to have any fun in my game, because I mean, not that you can't get ridiculously overpowered, because they do all the time, but I just put you up against bigger and badder things to compensate for it. But you have to trust me in the game, because 90% of the game is just me making stuff up off the top of my head. And, I take everything into account in the situation. Like, I take who your character is, what he's done up until this point, what he's done in the game, and what we've imagined his backstory is, before this. And then when you want to try and do something new, I judge, how hard I think that task would be for your particular character to pull off. And then I give you a number to hit. You roll 20-sided, and, you try and hit it. If you have bonuses somewhere in the general vicinity that might help with that thing, then, let's add them to it, or let's talk about it. Add half the bonus or whatever. But, if you're doing something you've never tried doing before, it might be a little bit harder, but it depends on who you are. Like, if you want to run up to this wall and then run 10 feet up the wall, do a backflip off of it, and land on your feet. Okay. If you're me, a fat crippled man in his 50s, that needs a cane to walk, yeah, you're going to have to roll 18 or 19, to even stand a chance of getting up the wall at all. You're going to have to get a natural 20 to do a backflip. That's a 1 in a million, and you're taking damage. I can tell you that right now. But if you're Spider-Man, then, get me a 5 or better, and on a 20-sided, and you're good to go. You want to use your acrobatics bonus? Go nuts, because you're freaking Spider-Man. And it just depends on who you are and what your skills are, and, what that number comes out being. But you have to be able to trust me in that. If you're a rules lawyer that wants to just sit there and argue endlessly about, well, actually, in this appendix to this book on in this magazine and this blah blah blah, it said one time, and Gary Gygax was quoted as saying one time, this is not the game for you. You're not gonna. This is not a place to bicker over the rules for hours and hours and hours. That's not what we do. This game is quick, fun, and if you want to have a good time and you can trust me to be fair, then we can have a ball. But it all depends on what you're in it for. Some people just love to argue. That's their jam. And more power to you if that's fun for you.
More power to you indeed. Oh, would you look at that? See, it's not a bad one. Probably get that one for now. Cool color. Okay, not bad. Keep that one just in case. This one's interesting. All right. Let's see if we can play around with some of these ideas here. Okay, import. Let's do this one. I feel like there's more merit to these colors here.
What if the henchman he makes through mentally corrupting other members of the coalition? Ooh.
Hence the telekinesis aspect of your character.
Well, yeah, but telekinesis is moving stuff, not like controlling minds. But, I could definitely see him as being charismatic enough to be able to find those that are already kind of slanting that direction. Like if you go to the guys on the police force that already have lots of civilian complaints for, use of excessive force, they're probably, going to be easier to convince to go into your vigilante squad than, the upstanding guys. Like, you could pick out the guys that would be more easy to fall for you, especially after training so many of them. God, that's really a scary thing to think about, having, like, one of the baddest guys working in a place of people you should be able to trust, and doing it to train them to be bad guys.
But then again, are they the bad guy if they just want to create a new world under their dominion? That's what Doom wants to do. Even provides free college.
That's true. I mean, as much as I would like to be the guy that says, well, Doom's not a bad guy. Doom's a bad
He's a
guy.
bad guy. He's a bad guy.
He is a bad guy. He's, he's a narcissist. He's a bit insane. He's way obsessive.
Very petty. He's very petty as well. Like,
very.
I think there was an issue where Reed Richards managed to solve the freaking problems of the world. Doom travels back in time to prevent them from doing it because it wasn't him that did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the level of pettiness is at an all-time high with Doom.
Yes, the petty is strong in this one.
Quite indeed. There we go. I can totally see this being like teeth that this dude has actually apprehended over time. Fighting amongst other people, stealing their kneecaps, taking their bones.
But
Let me see if I take this. Maybe make it a bit of a yellow kind of color. Okay, there we go. Usually this is the hard part. This is the more members they throw at him to beat him, he just gets more henchmen. Okay. The more that this dude apprehends, the more he just chucks, and the more henchmen he just gets. He just needs to find every scumbag throughout the galaxy. Just promising them a world under a better form of dominion that allows them the opportunity to live like gods. We can rule them like gods. Angry gods. Said Jake from Adventure Time. Okay, maybe we take this, probably go a little darker.
My son convinced me to watch that, and he was right. It is really good. Every once in a while, something just strikes me weird, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to watch that one. And
gotta take it some convincing and watch it.
That one took a little bit of convincing to watch. And it wasn't that I thought it was like gross or anything. Like, I thought from the way they advertised SpongeBob before it came out, like, they made it seem before it launched like SpongeBob was going to be all toilet jokes and fart sounds and just, how stupid and gross can we be like a lot of Adult Swim stuff is. And
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I don't have any interest. It's just, if you enjoy it, go nuts. I don't have any interest in that. It's just not my thing. And it took some convincing to get me to watch SpongeBob. And then I was like, oh, well, that's not what this is at all. It's absolutely stupid, but it's brilliantly funny stupid. SpongeBob is objectively stupid, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's clever in the way that you've got these absolutely ridiculously stupid characters, and it's a lot of fun. I love it now. I probably watched everything. Every once in a while, they keep putting out something new. I may not have seen everything that's come out in the last couple of years or something, but pretty much I think I've seen everything. And big fan. But yeah, Adventure Time took some convincing as well from my son. And not because I thought it was gross or anything. And I'd seen some clips singing making bacon pancakes and different things like that. And I was like, yeah, I guess it's funny. It just didn't really strike me as something I wanted to watch. And it's probably the art style just didn't captivate my interest. And so, yeah, that's fine. Go enjoy it. I was good where I was. But he convinced me to watch it, and yeah, it's good.
You don't want to admit it. Dang it, it was actually a banger.
It's gets you all emotional and stuff in some places and whatnot, and it's absolutely stupid in some other places. And I love it. The only thing I cannot stand is that freaking screaming voice of the lemon dude. Drives me up the freaking wall.
Lord, yeah.
Cannot stand that. But it's intentionally that way. Like, it's not like they're like, hey, it'll be a fun, entertaining voice that people will love. It's supposed to be as absolutely great as it can be. And they succeeded.
Good. They succeeded well.
Okay, I thought the pink trim would be cool. It makes him look like Santa Claus. Fear me, or you shall get no presents this Christmas.
Or you shall have
For not only am I going to rule the world, I'm going to rule global distribution of toys. You start with the hearts and minds of the children, I tell you.
Okay, this is working. I'm kind of liking what I got going on here.
Oh yeah, I'm loving that color scheme so much more than what I got going over here. So,
that's
make that my reference.
Pretty crazy looking. Not bad either.
Now I can
kind of see the reptile and this. I guess I went for the more reptile aspect of it rather than the insect-based form. I was probably going to draw like the butt of an insect on this one. The butt on bugs, like an ant's, spiders.
Abdomen.
Probably can do that like if I ever did the cover for this character. But I can see this guy being like a menace to society.
It's like, you shall fall under the realms of Kazaa.
Because I did see someone say in chat, if I can find it here, the name of this character. Oh, there you go. Oh, it could be Lord Severn, is what someone said for your character. There we go. Whoa. Where are we at? Gotta find that comment. So Uncle Fish's character can be Lord Severn. And then my character could be Khazar.
Lord Severn, I wait for your command. What bidding shall I do? Boo-ha-ha-ha.
That has a very He-Man feeling vibe to it.
It does. Hey there,
Very.
Dynamic Mango of the. It's a very long name, but how you doing? Glad to see that you're here on the stream. Glad to have you here.
Man, some of y'all with the names. Oh, let's see.
Oh,
Dylan Magi of the Lasso.
Dylan Maggio of the.
What is up?
How you doing? We're trying.
I'm trying, man. But also, you got to read it all as one long word too, which makes it a lot harder on my old brain looking at them, trying to decipher some of them. Like that, I purely because of my own trouble reading it is why I like capitalize the first word when I use hashtags and stuff. Because otherwise, I will go back and look at that hashtag later and have no idea what it was supposed to be because it's too long, too much gobbled together.
I don't know why I like always
That
giving
and
these.
I are stupid.
There we are.
But that's okay because I are pretty too. My mom always said I are pretty stupid.
There we go.
There we go.
Man, I haven't even gotten to listen to the whole thing that you recorded for Cheshire yet.
I sent it as a video, and then hopefully you could probably.
Yeah. And I started listening to it, and as soon as you got to growling, the freaking goosebumps killed me so much. I had to turn it off. I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done. He did a good job. It'll be fine. I'll work with whatever else there. I couldn't take it right then because it was so good. It's like, yeah, I'm done.
Oh yeah, those are always my favorite parts, especially because like, I will say you came to the right guy when it came down to having an animalistic thing, especially because I can do that. What's it called? As my friends would say, do the roar. Do the roar.
Do the hustle. Do. Yeah, I can't do that. All right.
Oh, my sweet, my love. Please don't go away from me.
Maggio of the Thalasso. Awesome. So are you going to show off what people drew for Roll for Hero last week?
Yeah, we did at the beginning of the show. Oh, what everybody else drew. Oh, hold on a second. Let me look, see what I can find.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of went off once I saw this color palette. I was kind of going off of your idea because you kind of got that orange tint going on for the skin color. Then I'm like, I should do that. Loving it. Loving it. Man, this app has really been saving me a lot in terms of actually designing character concepts. Ooh, the white parts on this actually pop off, and it is glorious. Maybe what happens if I invert it? You know what? Maybe I do like that aqua green kind of color because I feel like that would kind of works a little well with it. I'm digging it. We're here for it. Not bad. I can imagine that those white parts would actually be like bone plating for specific kinds of like creatures and animals that he has taken down over his duration of being this warrior who travels seeking the thrill of a kill. Maybe, and I actually kind of like that. How, like, again, what I love about it is that we took this character concept, we just made two complete different renditions. So we have, a warrior who is seeking the thrill of a kill, and then we have one who's trying to be like a god. One is seeking the adventure of becoming, the lord, the leader of the new empire of the galactic cosmos. And then you have one who just wants to just fight and feel something, Saitama style, just wants to have like the thrill of a kill kind of a thing. I feel like this dude would actually be some kind of action figure. I feel like this guy would be like a He-Man action figure or something like that. That's what I like about it.
There we go. There is Ben in art. I'm guessing that's Benjamin. His role for hero character, Waylon Stewart. He's a young man who was a failed experiment created by the same scientist who created Melissa Ross. Waylon's powers of invulnerability, techromancy, armor mastery, matter transformation, and energy projection is activated by a sacred oath, but Waylon can transform the matter of the energy projections into different items, but his sacred oath only works at night. Ooh. Powers from a failed successful experiment, major powers invulnerability, transform matter, techromancy, armor mastery, minor power, energy projection, powers only work at night, sacred oath. Natasha Evans, she's a young woman who has years of training. Oh, there we go. Using a crystal granted to her great-grandfather by an ancient being. The crystal gives the Evans family the abilities of camouflage and body weapons. Natasha is now out for revenge after her older sister Molly was killed by a villain. Molly gave the crystal to Natasha after she trained with a fake crystal. The real crystal embedded itself into the palm of her hand. Natasha wanted revenge on the villain who killed her sister. All right, so training. And then we have Brielle Watson is a young woman who had her powers of invulnerability, matter transformation, and camouflage by a demon. After Brielle watched her twin sister Pearl was killed by a hero, Brielle's powers work only in the day. Her powers of matter transformation can actually create minions for herself, but mainly bug-like minions. Cool. And then Christopher Guzman. He's a young man who accidentally developed powers for himself. The powers he developed are invulnerability, hand-to-hand combat, enhanced senses, but those powers are on the time limit. The faster he uses his powers, the more Christopher gets exhausted. Christopher is also seeking a way for a cure because he just wanted to be a scientist, not a superhero. Wow. Those came out awesome.
Oh my gosh. I think I have seen these. I think I was like looking on. Oh man.
That is cool.
You know what I think would be a really fun episode? If we ever had the ability to get to it, would be like, what if we end up drawing the way that I'm going to say this? I don't know how everyone's going to forget about it, but what if we end up finding those who partook in doing Roll for Hero, rolled up their own hero, did whatever, and we essentially draw their character that they rolled up.
Mm-hmm. Or like roll to see which one of the fan art characters we do a redraw of. That would be cool.
All right.
All right. There's nothing else showing up in there right now. That was really cool. That was really cool, man. Good job.
Fantastic stuff, guys. Can't wait to see more of them. And I believe my rendition of this character is all donezo. I tried adding the bug butt at the end of it just to see if I could make it work. So I'll see how I'll be able to work with that once I get to the actual drawing segment, like, showing off the cover art. of this character. Okay, do this, do this. All right. Boom. There we go. Taking those out. So now we have this one. There we go. Perfect. There he is. Khazar. There you are.
Dadpool says his is on Insta and on YouTube. Didn't find it on YouTube when I searched. That's the thing that's frustrating to me about the search on Instagram. Is like there's still so few things for it to find with that hashtag that it's like, well, here's a couple of them and here's just a bunch of other junk. Like it's got some stuff that I posted and it's got the stuff been posted there. And then it's just a bunch of random superheroes and action figures and things that don't have anything about Roll for Hero in them at all. But maybe if I try.
We got to get this thing, got to get this movement going. We got to get Roll for Hero to be popular enough where it can warrant the hashtag to actually be its own thing. All right, and I think that is as far as I'll go. I feel like I don't get to touch the design any further because I feel like if I do, I'm going to kind of screw it up a little bit. And there we go. Khazar, the Warrior of Wrath. So at least on my side, wrong one. That's just the basic body stance I got here. So we have Jupiter Jack, the cosmic or the galactic Goliath. And then we have Ms. Doobie or Ms. Dalby, the alien bounty huntress, who is just, depending on the price, she'll take out anyone. She'll take anyone out for a good price. That's how I should have said it.
And Khazar, legendary warrior, second in command to
What's it called?
Khazar, second in command to Lord Severin.
Let me see here. I'm gonna see if I can try, because I don't get many tagged. Let me see mentions probably. All right, I want to see that
there. Let me look back at YouTube and see. Because usually I can find the ones Dadpool tags me in on YouTube, but didn't see any this time. Let me look back at my notifications again.
Man, oh man. Can't seem to find it for some apparent reason. Or at least post-wise. Or let me see. So upload, watch.
Well, I thought I had looked a long way back, but I had. Man, now I'm.
There we go. Oh. Yeah, but other than that, this is my character, Khazar.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about this one?
If you could message me a link to it, Deadpool, I would appreciate it because I'm back 13 days ago in my notifications, and I can't find a notification for it to track it down. So yeah, let me see your finished one again. The whole thing. Oh, I just heard it.
Hold on. There we go.
Oh, cool. I love that color scheme. And that came out really nice. That came out looking really cool. He looks really terrifying, honestly.
Yeah, I can't tell who's supposed to be what, but like him being the gladiator style warrior.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's like the henchman to your character. So the way like the dynamic works. So your character is like the one seeking godhood or seeking, like being the emperor of the galaxy or the cosmos. And then by his side, his second in command, loyal to him to a fault, is Khazar. This brutal warrior who just seeks the thrill of a kill kind of a situation. And the only people that kind of give him a little trouble and has like that, like, oh, I was given a challenge? I doubt it. Is Jupiter Jack, Meteor Mandy. You have the galactic Goliath and the tiny cosmic Titan. Which, by the way, I don't even think you have I don't think you've shown off the cover for what you did, because I know I did the Roll for Hero recap on my side where I showed off the cover that I've made.
I may not have.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen a video from your end. I know that you made the cover, but
I haven't done a video yet. I've wanted to, but I ain't got there. I'm about a season behind on doing videos.
Oh no, trust me, same here. There are some characters that honestly I don't think I will ever do a Roll for Hero recap on. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I'm gonna see what I can do. Given how we're also creating a whole universe out of this, I feel like some of the recap videos could be always fun to kind of like tap into here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's actually do
so
a bit of
this is my. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way so I can show more of it. This is my version of the cover. Here, let's.
Yeah, I got you.
There. We can't both move at the same time.
Yeah.
Roll for Hero presents, and we have got Jupiter Jack, the Galactic Goliath, and the world's tiniest Titan, Meteor Mandy. And I really like the way it came out. It's funny to me, we basically came up with about the same design, really, in the end of things. But I like the way it came out, and I think it came out as a really fun design. I redid your logo only so I could kind of make my two logos match a little bit, and I can't really alter PNG you sent me as well as I could alter my own.
Oh, that's fine. If anything, I gotta learn how to probably just stick with doing simple fonts, because whenever I do comic covers, I always gotta find like a font and adjust it, and then always like have it tailored for the character. Because sometimes it's like, oh, that'd be cool, but then like they don't need that all the time. Because I see some of the covers that you do, and I'm like, the title is just so simple. The font is just a simple font. I don't have to overly complicate it. So. But I obviously love that.
And occasionally, I'll do a little bit, like I added this serif thing on the Meteor Mandy because I wanted to kind of go with that feeling a little bit. And I wanted to tie in a little bit to the Jupiter Jack one and have them feel like they kind of matched up a little bit. But I will play with things a little bit, and sometimes I will really play with them. Like let me see if I can pull it up from here. I probably shouldn't, but because it's one I'm working for a client right now. But where is it?
What we got going on here?
Loading, ding that file, loading, takes so long to loading, hey, but I really played around with the logo on this one and really fooled around with the fonts, and I think it came out pretty cool. And I just want to show off the logo more than the cover. But once it gets loaded up here, we're at 75%. We're almost there. Now we're at 83. Oh, come on, 91. You got it. Let's go.
Kaboom.
And
then having to do
we
another
loaded the
loading
computer.
screen.
Why you got to take so long to load? Of course, that's also part of the problem is I built custom assets to make the buildings in the background, and I made them very complicated so that I can make the buildings complicated and three-dimensional, but it also takes longer to load the files. But all right. We have locked up my computer. That's what we did. Hold on a second. I gotta turn on the layer that's got the title in it, silly. There we go. So yeah,
that one's really
I really
cool.
played with the title on that one and really moved things around and cut letters out and stretch things and move things around. But I thought it came out pretty cool for this one, especially considering the kid in his first costume is like spray painting his logo on his shirt. I wanted to get that almost a little bit like graffiti, not super hard to read graffiti, but that overlapping letter type style and stuff I wanted to get. So I thought that came out pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's actually a really cool title.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It's going to be a really cool book. I'm not going to save. But
I'm not going to say much, but yeah. We got Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy over here. Just the Galactic Goliath and the Tiniest Titan versus...
And now they've got a villain to fight against that's empowered them just to try and sharpen his own blade. I'm really digging that idea. I'm really liking that idea as a whole. I think that's awesome. I'm really proud of that. He may need some tweaks. I think he needs, I don't know, maybe he needs a regal cape or something, but I really want him to have that powerful, I think I'm better than everybody else feel. That wasn't what I was going for originally. Originally, I was thinking little bitty, big-headed, bug-eyed scientist, but now I really, after we had to roll up all this crazy crap, all these crazy alien things to really take it out of my comfort zone into some place that I wouldn't have taken him, because I would have gone just pure, tiny mad scientist was kind of what I was thinking. But this is so far different than that. And I wouldn't have been challenged like this if it hadn't have been for the dice and Roll for Heroes. So I appreciate that. It pushed me out of my comfort zone to do something that I wouldn't have done otherwise. So
for sure. And I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the show, is that we're trying to break the comfort zone. But I just also realized too, you could make that bug-eyed, character as the weakling little scientist that happens to be under his rule. Maybe he ends up finding some scientist and you're the one with a brilliant mind. I need it for my new empire, for the new galaxy.
I have an idea for a story I want to do, but it would have to be a graphic novel. But I have an idea for a story that I think would be really funny about a bad guy that wants to take over the world, but every time he takes someplace over, he ends up making it better. And not intentionally, he wants to be the biggest, baddest, scariest dude in the world. And he's stronger than everybody and he beats everybody. It's sort of like a Lobo. He's going in to cause chaos, but also he doesn't want the tedium of running civilizations after he rules a country. So he brings all the smartest people in and, all the best scientists and stuff from that country. and then puts them all in charge under the threat of death if he comes back and find out that they've taken any bribes or any corruption. He's got like zero tolerance for them accepting bribes and stuff from the people, because if they're accepting bribes and they're building up their own riches, then they're not working for him, they're working for themselves, and he can't have that. So he ends up building these like utopias everywhere he goes that he can just leave behind, and the country runs so much better, and everybody has universal health care, and everything is being run well, and diseases are going down, and the homeless are being housed and stuff, because everywhere he goes, like, he can't be bothered to do it himself, so he puts the smartest
Ready?
people in charge. And
Here's your title. Here's the title for it: The Invader Made Savior.
And
The
I
Invader Savior.
just love the thought of this dude who's like, eventually, like, you know, he's taking over all these countries and stuff, but then he's still like just hanging out in a bar drinking. And like when somebody's like, you know, I'm going to be the greatest villain ever seen, like he will flat get into a bar fight right here and now. I'm the greatest villain. And they're like, dude, you're a freaking hero. I will kill you for that. You know, but like he's just like, he's convinced he's going to be the most terrible, but he just accidentally keeps doing good everywhere he goes. And I love that idea of somebody who can't win for losing. Like, you know, he's trying so hard, but he just keeps accidentally doing good. And I think that would be really, really funny. Totally ruins his reputation by winning, you know?
Now, how would you design, like if you were to create the cover for Jupiter Jack in this situation, how would you try to incorporate your character? Like I can see my character being in like an arena, like being in a gladiator style arena.
Oh, yeah.
You know, holding him down, being like, you think you're the only one that could change to this, like, you know, something like that. It's like, you think you can beat me, you know, Khazar, the, you know, the cosmic, you know, what's it called? The cosmic what?
The cosmic knife.
The cosmic knife. Why didn't I go with Galactic Gladiator? That would have made more sense.
But yeah, I mean, I can really see them like in an arena, and like he's got Meteor Mandy by the shirt, you know, like about to choke the life out of her, and Jupiter Jack's on the ground, you know, bloody, and it looks like, you know, he's going to be victorious. That would be a really epic shot, like a really cool cover. I'm thinking more like almost like a Star Wars homage for mine, where like maybe he's like a big head in the background or something, but like have it in that moment where he's transferring power, and like, you know, and they're getting these powers. Like that's the moment I think I would want to capture for my dude. But yeah, dude, there'll be some epic covers.
And epic potential storytelling here. I mean, I'm loving this dude as it is. Like the way that I'm kind of seeing it is like it's a whole galactic like gladiator arena, if you will, with all different aliens in the sidebar, and then on top of that, you see your character kind of like putting the thumbs down, wanting him to have my character be, you know, destroyed and whatnot. And like Meteor Mandy's over there trying her best. It's like, if I don't get there in time, like he's gonna be turned into rubble or something like that. And you see him being held, you know, by his collar, and he's just like, you can't grow out of this situation here. Or he's like, this situation is too big even for you, Galactic Goliath, or something like that. I feel like that would be something really impressive, just trying to see that, like the feat of strength that is there.
In this arena, I'm locked in here with you. You're locked. It's like, I'm locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Yeah, that'd be.
It's like, you're not locked. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me, Khazar, the Galactic Gladiator. I can see this being a very brutal, very bloody battle. Of course, being like the champion of, you know, Lord Severn. I don't know if you want to stick with that name. I just think the name kind of fits, though. Got Khazar the Gladiator, Severn.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing's really jumped out at me yet that's like, you know, there it is. I'm open to suggestions if the chat has any more ideas.
And then also, I like the idea that he would try to start the Dark Matter Coalition. So that would actually be very interesting. So like I think it would be interesting instead of like that belt having like the little beads looking like it looks like a sun. But I think it would be interesting if they were more like black pearls and whatnot, representing black holes as like for the dark matter aspect of things.
Oh,
Can
that's a
play
cool
with
idea. See, originally I was thinking about making them all like different colored gems and like have that be how he controls some of his powers. Like, touch this one and he does this, or touch this one and it augments this. But then I was like, then it's supposed to come from years of training and not his suit. So I don't know.
But
But
he
I
is,
like the
and also they are weak to an item. So we need to know what that item is that they are weakened by, because that is also the same weakness that is applied to Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy.
Oh yeah. See, I got all excited about the idea and I forgot about that part.
No,
Um,
same here. So it's like there has to be an equal like weakness to it. Maybe the arena is lined with a like the way that I'm thinking about it in the cover, like the arena is made of a particular type of metal. Like we could go like Kryptonian on this one, either do like a whole thing of gems, or it could be like a titular kind of mineral, something that they are weakened to, because it's like it has to be a particular item, right? Usually they're made of something of a hard construct and whatnot. So you have something cosmic based, and I feel like it would have to be a really dense, like thing. Cosmic is like the energy that flows within the universe, but then something of a dense, hardened nature would kind of
yeah, I
prevent
mean,
that.
like gravity, magnetism, radiation, cosmic rays, all of those things would be things they're constantly exposed to. Heat and cold are things they would constantly be exposed to, going back and forth in outer space and whatnot. So, like, if it was any of those, then they just can't do squat. They would be so limited all the time. Um, I love the thought of them having the same weakness because the thought of like I have to be willing to poison myself to grab this blade of XYZ to be able to like end him,
Mm.
like that's beautiful. That has a lot of
And then we got
potential.
Dragon Gaming over here says, "How about Lord Droll for your character?"
Lord Droll of the Dark Matter Coalition.
And so, I like Sinestro. Sinestro is an awful suspicious name for a cop, for a space cop. you know, like, that's just nobody thought twice about the guy named Sinestro. Like, that's just I'm Evil McSteely. Well, I'm a cop. Yeah, no worries.
Evil
That just
McFeely.
seems suspicious on its face to me. Maybe I'm a suspicious person, but Evil McSteely or Meth Head McCopper Thief is probably not the guy I'm going to hire to redo my electrical work in my house. Maybe I'm a racist. I don't know, but I'm not picking that dude to do my electrical work. I'm not leaving my house while he's in it. So like I like a name that has gravitas or something to it or feels intimidating, but maybe not like, Mick Baby Killer, but like
Right.
Droll isn't bad. That's not inherently, like I will stab you in the dark. Like I like the idea of it being something that sounds intimidating, but like if your last name is Doom, it's not a big surprise that
No,
you
it's
end up
not.
becoming a supervillain. Like that's not a giant surprise.
Like, I like the idea
I'm
of
sure when he
Severin
was
and
going for
then
his
Droll.
doctorate thesis, everybody on the board was like, "Yeah, this one's going bad. I'll bet you $100."
It's like, I don't know about this one. But like Droll Severin, like combining the two of them. Well, Sinestro sounds like sinister.
What's
What
one
word
word
would
fit your character?
what one word would fit him? So you have Sinestro, sinister.
I would
But not
think
I,
like strength, like something along that line, which that would be a fun place to go to the thesaurus.com and see what I find.
Sir Pyron.
Sir Pyron.
To
That's like
see what
superior.
synonyms, would go with strength.
Let me see.
Courage, durability, energy, firmness. I'm Lord Firm.
Ferment.
Rigid.
Ferment.
I'm King T. I'm Lord Vigor.
Ooh,
Vigor.
fun one, but just so that we don't accidentally, let's not get these uncles canceled. I may be a racist uncle, and that's why I like NASCAR, but I'm not going down that road. Hey, 2 puns in one.
Let's see. Physique, pith, potency, powerhouse. Robustness.
I like weirdly enough, I like the ridge
Part
like King Ridge or
The ridge.
Lord King
Murder.
Ridge.
Vim. Zip. Brute force. Okay. Brute force I like.
Brute. There's always Bruticus.
Brutus.
Brutondo. Brutus. Lord Brutus.
There might be something there.
Lord Ridge Brutus. Brutus Ridge.
Brutaceous.
Lord
Brutimus Max.
L.
Brute. Rule of Terror. There's nothing else really there.
Ignore the L. I missed the L. Misclicked. All right.
Misclicked. He was calling you a loser. There's something. I don't know. Nothing struck me like lightning yet. But then I may still redesign him. Who knows? I'm not against it. I'm not too good for it. I may take another swing at his costume when I go do the cover and might change things entirely. But I love the idea of him like being almost irritated in a fight and unbothered and like, how boring is this? How pedestrian? This is, I could see this attack coming a mile away, just like completely unimpressed. Like, I like that idea of him being so big and strong and, well-trained. That's like a whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. There's no challenge in this fight.
Lord Maximal.
There's nothing for me to be learned. This isn't going to hone my skills.
There's a Dragon game that said Lord Maximal.
Now,
Lord
Maximus isn't bad. That something in the Max like intones that wanting to get to the ultimate, which is his goal. Like he wants to become the ultimate, strongest warrior there is. And that definitely hits in the vibe of that. Okay, that I'm liking that. I'm liking
Lord Maximal. It's like Lord Maximal.
And maybe, maybe he would take on a different name after, turning heel like Anakin became Vader. I don't know. Maybe he would take on a different name.
Maybe he was known as Ridge Severn, the Cosmic Cadet, right? But then now he's severing his name away from, from Ridge, because Ridge sounds like a rookie cop kind of a situation. And I can imagine in his situation, he was like, that he was probably once that doty cosmic cadet that nobody really took serious or whatever. And then when he got sick and tired of it, realizing that they treat him like the butt of a joke, maybe in his situation, he's just like, they think little of me. I'll show them that I'm going to be more grander than this. I will be more like to the max. I will be, man, like I'm thinking of something here, because I can see the more fish element of this character, but it's like
Lord Sparkle.
We can also dive into the insect here. Lord. If he was to be based off of an insect, if you wanted the more insect route, what kind of insect would you have done?
My first thought was like praying mantis, because like they're very deadly and calculating and whatnot. Which, if we hadn't have gotten like the humanoid arms, I probably would have stretched a little bit more in that direction. But when we got more humanoid limbs, I wanted to keep some aspects of it, which is why I added like the ridges of his exoskeleton into his suit sticking out a little bit. And added more plates to his armor to kind of mimic the segments of his body underneath his clothes. But yeah, I would have gone a little more praying mantis probably with him, and done the bigger eyes and stuff and had them right on the side. But we didn't get eyes, so instead I put a ridge on the bones, on the scales and fins, just so I could help show a little bit of expression, because like he doesn't need eyebrows if he doesn't have eyes. But I figured having a ridge in that plate that comes over his head would be cool, kind of like the xenomorphs,
Right.
Sort of having a ridge there would give me something that I could help show a little bit of expression on his face, besides just having a mouth that's half covered by fin stash. And but I love the fin stash.
The fin stash does work. It does bring like evil dictator vibes, if you will.
The character that I took that from is Starsteel, but like I've got a whole story line for him. Like he was a captain on a starliner, and the ship is gets damaged or attacked or whatever, and it's barreling into a star, and he gets everybody off of the ship in time, but it's too late for him to get off of it before it gets caught in the gravity of the sun and gets pulled in. And then him and the entire ship get crushed in the center of this sun and fused together and baked for like 1,000 years. And then eventually he comes out again of this star with the giant fusion drive fused into his being, and is now this super powerful, super dense being. The entire mass of this starship has been combined into his body, and he's been fused into this giant super dense metal being.
Dragon Gamer also said, how about Master Maximal?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Not bad at all.
And I wonder if there's some way to incorporate I can't think, like I'm thinking like Insectus or the end of reptile or soar for dinosaur or something in there, but I can't think of anything that would help
like
invoke the vibe of his being without like Maxisaur sounds like I don't know, some like, kind of medicine for a wound.
It's Lord Sorendile. Lord Sorendile, for it is I, Kazaa. here to beckon. It's like here to answer your beck and call. Sorendile.
Like Sor for
Now,
dinosaur.
Soren as a first name wouldn't be bad. Anything you want to incorporate in the name? Anything specific? Deceptilian. Oh, that's good. Okay, now that is a shape-shifting reptile, dude. If that is the name of, I'm taking that name right there for my character I should have drawn last week. That is I'm writing that one down. That is a shape-shifting snake name.
Sorrentile. Sir Ectile.
Surrectile. I'm Sir Ectile.
we see where you're going with that. We see where you're going with that.
Power. If I remain in power for more than 4 hours, call a physician. I want to write that.
Oh, that is hysterical. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love it. But I was thinking Soren. I think that's probably how I was trying to say it, but like Soren, like, you know, soar, like dinosaur, ren, like rep, or soar reptile.
Sorry.
Or reptiles.
That sounds even worse.
I don't know. I'm thinking. Oh.
Are you having trouble going to the bathroom? Are you suffering with painful hemorrhoids? Try Sorectus.
Side effects may include bleeding from the nostrils, hearing of loss, blindness, and of course, crippling anxiety. Call your doctor if you can take Sorrentiles now. Deadpool sent his new one on Insta.
Deadpool. Which account are you tagging? Let me ask you that. Is it the Mr. Fish Comics that has the pink background and Alice's head on it? Or is it the one with Virgil's head on it? Because the one with Virgil's head is my old account that got hacked that I can't get back into or shut down. Because I don't have anything showing up in my messages.
Yeah, and then once we get that on the go there, I mean, I better start heading out soon. I got to grab some hours for work. Unfortunately, I literally had a whole morning shift. Mr. Fish
Comics, that's why I'm not seeing it. That's the wrong one. I wish I could get it shut down. I've tried copyright strikes and stuff to get it shut down, but Instagram doesn't employ people in that whole section anymore. They've just given it all over to AI, and there's nobody there to recognize that I needed help, or that, you know, I can't get back into it, or that I need to get it shut down. So,
wow. But
that explains why I haven't seen it. But I will look for it, and we will pull it up on next week's show, because we got to get going. Because I got to go.
Because, you know, I had a whole morning shift, and then now, you know, they needed hours because work at a gas station, and, you know, we happen to give out lottery tickets. So tonight's the big Powerball, and they really need all that help as they can get. So I'm only going to be there for another 4 hours, 5 hours. Gotta love it. Anyways, So to the nieces and nephews watching, thank you guys so much for partaking in being on a relatively shortish, it felt short to an extent, stream for Roll for Hero. I can't wait to see what happens next week. I can't wait to do the Roll for Hero recap on this one, because this is going to be a fun cover to draw. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for joining along. Thank you for so much for rolling, drawing, and throwing out some awesome suggestions. We're going to try to snag up as many of these as we can and try to implement them into newer lists for later down the road. So, of course, I'm going to end our entire show here. So to everyone who's watching, to all the nieces and nephews, thank you guys for tuning in. Always remember to stay awesome, stay weird, and to keep life to the easiest. And always remember that art inspires all, but you can inspire more. And, of course, never forget to stay ultra. And your uncles love you. Roll for Hero!
You know, and even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. You know, the possibility of that happening is again like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like it shows that there's an infinite possibility.
Always something